Hello, hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google. What do I do again? Review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Houndour and Houndoom as I apparently forget my own intro. I don't Final Fantasy, but if this appeals to you and you think it does, tell me. Let me know if you think it's a good nickname or whatever. Yeah. So this is kind of the common thing I remember seeing, was just like something involving hell, and it gets kind of tiring kind of quickly. So I don't really think this name is good, but I'm acknowledging it because, well, we're here to make fun of the bad ones too. Brimstone's not a bad name. There's nothing really to say. I don't know. It's fine. I'm totally okay with it. I guess if you want to also maybe go Obsidian, which would maybe work a little bit better because lava rock and it's black, and so is Houndoom. Sure, you could do that one. Styx, that one is fine too. There's already an obnoxious amount of mythology stuff. Congrats, mythology is kind of like the most basic name for a nickname, so that's why I skipped most of it. But I'm okay with the idea of the river Styx, and just because we're gonna see it, Cerberus, there's that too. You're just, Look, Cerberus, there it is. Wow, you expect to see that 5 billion times. Now, I remember seeing this joke someone posted on the internet. They named their dog like Ozzy Pawsborn, the Prince of Barkness. And I do like that. I think that's adorable and hilarious. But I'm not so sure it translates entirely well to Houndoom, just because full name and description is what sells it. You could get away with calling it Ozzy, sure, and then, like, if someone asks, you could explain the whole joke or whatever. But, yeah, it works, but it also, I don't know, I feel like it needs more words to help that joke. Hot dog! Not much else to say about it. Dumb joke, it works, kind of works with Growlithe and Arcanine as well. Yeah. Now, I've had this before, and honestly, I didn't even think about it, because I know I talked about like Phobos, Demois, like, hey look, astrology and stuff. They're named after like gods as well. That shouldn't really surprise me, considering basically all of the stupid idiot planets are. So no surprise the moons would be too. But yeah, if you wanted to, sure. It's been on my list of like, hey, I think it's cool if you could pair them together, but whatever. Scooby Doom is actually pretty good. I remember that one being like, I like this one, this is the best of them all, but I still don't want to use it because I don't like it that much. But yeah, that's a good choice. I like it. I feel like it's just funny and it works pretty well with Houndoom. So I just checked my little list just to see what was for today. So Doomsday was apparently one I saw in the past and thought was okay. I'm okay with it. I think it works as a name. You could apply it to quite a few Pokemon and it would fit. But yeah, just remember seeing this in the past and being like, yeah, that's alright. Remember it for Houndoom. Scorch, we've seen this in previous episodes. Generic fire type nickname. Throw on anyone. Not much else to say about it. This guy at least gets a little bit of creativity for like making a calculator joke, but on the flip side, it's also just like a very terrible nickname when you realize what it is upside down. I also remember seeing Apocalypse in previous episodes as well. If you want to use that for, again, just about anyone, if you wanted to, it'll fit, it's fine. Not much to say about it. I'm gonna just go through this real quick. I know we've seen Nero in previous episodes, and I just like the name Nero, so if you want to, sure, whatever, I'm not gonna dwell on it. Pepper, there's not really much to say about it other than just the black coloration it has in common, but I'm totally fine with naming things based off of food-like things, so if you want to, for whatever reason or another, sure, go crazy. Actually, that kind of works as a nice double play. So, I think actually naming the god way after the tie-in with the planets, I think I like that a little bit more. I think rather than naming it Hades, I think I like Pluto better, just because it doesn't feel as obnoxious to me, so I'm okay with it. But I also like the double joke of Mickey Mouse's dog, so I do like that one. I think that's kind of cool. And yeah, I guess Pokemon.net, because fezzes are cool. I don't Inuyasha, but I'm pretty sure I've seen this a couple times and scrolled past it. If that's a thing you care about, or if you think is good, let me know. Moving on. So here's an actual really creepy thing, is that I kind of have that in common, and like part of me wonders, I severely doubt this, but when I was younger, I had a black dog named Sheba, and it was a German Shepherd Labrador mix. And I had it as a kid, so I think we had to get rid of her in 1998. She would have been maybe about 4 years old. So I wonder if at any point that this guy got my dog. I think that's like a crazy thing to think about, and I wonder if that's really true. I doubt it, but it would be fucking like phenomenal if that was actually the case. But yes, I did have a black dog named Sheba, and yeah, it's like, oh, I get it, but it was a Labrador German lab thingy. I must say I'm actually kind of proud that this is the first time I've seen Shadow, because I remember as a teenager everybody that owned a black dog had theirs named Shadow, so it's kind of a relief to be like, wow, maybe just everybody I knew then was fucking retarded and not the entire world is fucking retarded. I think that's like a very dumb, bad name for a dog. And even worse for a Pokemon. Okay, going over Charcoal, well, we've already seen fucking Brimstone, and I mentioned Obsidian, so there's nothing extra to add, it's just a different rock. Black Pyre, I don't get it. And his description doesn't fucking say anything, because his descriptions are always just him sucking his own dick, so. Scooby-Doo we've already seen, because he took that up from Pokemon.net. Cerberus and Hellhound we've already seen, because he took those from Pokemon.net. And then Lucifire, which he probably also took from Pokemon.net. I probably skipped past it because I saw Lucifer 50 billion times, because it's just fucking generic and boring. But at least Lucifire is a small little bit of wordplay, so if you want to, sure, but I still think it's just boring. I probably gotta go quick because Pinterest is Satan. I like the idea of Black Betty. That's actually okay with me, because naming it after songs. And I feel like it's very hard to name Pokemon after songs. I noticed this is a link to Denny Sinnoh, so I'm actually going to go check on it, because it's apparently not on the first page of Google, and Denny's not always terrible. But yeah, I'm totally fine with both Black Betty and Ramjam. Like, I'm trying to think of, and I've been trying to work on this as well, songs, so this way it's like, oh, well, you could name it after this song, instead of always just naming things after a band. So if you can find a song that you think, firstly, fits the character limit, but would be a good nickname, like, that's super fascinating to me as well, and I'm totally on board with the idea. Chili Dog, yeah, you could do that, and I don't think there's a ice dog. The closest you could get would be Glaceon, I guess. You could change that so Chilly and make it Chili Dog. Yeah, that's okay. I don't really care about Burn Baby Burn, but I'm gonna say something just in case someone out there fucking does. I think really the only positive side about me being a nobody channel is that I'm pretty sure this Screw You name writer probably isn't directed at me, but I still think that's funny. In other words, there's not really anything interesting to me on here. Devil Dog, like, I've seen this 50,000 times, I don't care. Denny actually kind of made a funny observation when he pointed out Devil Dogs are also like a Hostie's candy thingy, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. But I don't think a single human's gonna think of that first, unless they're like the one person in the world who actually eats that stuff on the regular. Okay, so we've reached the bottom, we've clicked on everything, we even went a small bit out of our way from Pinterest and then jumped to Denny's because Pinterest was just linking Denny's anyway, so that's just a shortcut. Checking the spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and say the reason I really don't think Cerberus works is because the whole three-headed bullshit. And that's why I'm more partial to Styx. I think Styx works better because it has the same fucking, like, background. Oh, wow, the river Styx. Oh, wow, death, Hades. Wow, that thing that everyone won't shut the fuck up about. And it's less obnoxious, but it works because it's still associated with the same shit, but without the three-head shit attached to it, so I really don't fucking care for Cerberus. Seen Hades 1,000 times. Fluffy, I feel like, honestly, most people are gonna think, ah ha ha, because get it, it's not Fluffy, opposed to Harry Potter. If Harry Potter's dog had a better fucking name, it would work, but, Hellhound seen 1,000 fucking times. And that's it. Nothing else on here is interesting. But I do think that we found plenty of good enough nicknames to, like, fill the ending with, honestly. So the ones I think were pretty good, I really like the idea of Black Betty or Ram Jam if you want to take that route. That's totally fine. I think that's awesome. Like, any way I can think of making a name for a song work, I'm interested in that too. Brimstone's fine, or you could do Obsidian or fucking Charcoal if you want. No, don't do Charcoal. Charcoal's off limits. That's a fucking hold item. Go to hell. Chili Dog, Hot Dog, those are fine. I'm also interested in finding an Ice Dog Pokemon to make it Chili Dog. Get it? Doomsday is a throwaway you could use. I just talked about why Styx is objectively better than Cerberus. Scooby Doom was really funny, and I like that one and think that's really good. But none of those are the ones I use. So, when I was growing up, I remember getting it was like a stuffed animal black dog, pure black. And I got it, I think, when I was like maybe 9 or 10. And I named it War. So what I thought would be kind of fun would be to think back to some of the toys that I had as a kid and the names that I gave those toys and try and put them into Pokemon nicknames, because I think that could be kind of fun and I would have that own personal sentimental value. So that was what I named my black dog stuffed animal, and it could work for Houndoom, and it's in general just an okay sounding name, and it also works Bayonetta Binding of Isaac style, where it's just a simple word, but it can hold so much more meaning, and it just sounds good, and that's me. I think that one sounds really good, but it has a sentimental attachment to it that I know no one else is going to get. So probably anything else I said before is going to sound more appealing. But that's just me. That was just a thing I thought up, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool, I should do that, and maybe if I can find some of the other idea names I had for toys and maybe apply it to Pokemon, that'd be fine too, and I think that would be kind of cool as well. But that's it. So any and all ideas for Houndour or Houndoom, put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the stuff that you think are good, and let's always add more to the pile. You can never have too many nicknames.